Krishna ki jai, Srimati Radharani ki jai. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Hare
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Praskatya Deshatari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. So before we begin, I would like to introduce the work which we're presenting in a very, very summarized way. This book is called Madhav Mahotsav, and it was written by Srila Jiva Goswami in 1555. That's 532 years ago. So this book was written by Srila Jiva Goswami on the order of his uncle Srila Rupa Goswami, who had also written about this subject matter in his book called Dan Keli Kumodi. This book, Dan Keli Kumodi, describes a playful argument between Radha and Krishna on the side of Govardhan. And one of the arguments that the gopis gave Krishna on why he should be obedient to Radha was the fact that she was the queen of all of Vrindavan. So he should bow down to her and offer her full respects. So Srila Rupa Goswami asked Jiva Goswami to write this incident of Radha's coronation in an elaborate form. And this book, Madhav Mahotsav, is in 9 chapters, and it's extremely hard to read. You can try. It took me a long time to actually break down the beauty of the intricate, condensed work and be able to present it in a simple way to yourselves. We've heard from our classes today how we have to learn to understand that this place is not our home. It's like salt in the sand in the sweet rice here. And we're advised to move our attention little by little in a natural way towards that place known as Sri Vrindavan Dham. So Srila Prabhupada one time was speaking, and I would like to share this little quote with you before we begin tonight. So, Prabhupada said, now, if you are trying to go to the moon planet, that means you must hear about the moon planet, and you have to think, I want to go to such and such a place. Then he used an example that was currently right before him. He said, just like Mr. Cohen, one of the young members of his team, has left already for California. Now, so far as I am concerned, I have no idea of California. But he has told me that when he reaches there, he will write about the description of the place. So suppose if reading that description of the place, I think of going there. So I prepare myself. Oh, I must go there. So just like Prabhupada is saying, just like I am describing that Chintamani Dham, what sort of trees there are. And you are very much pleased that I must go there. So we have to hear, he said. unless we hear what sort of God He is, what sort of God's place it is, and what is the mode of life there, then we cannot be attracted. We cannot be attracted. So Srila Prabhupada is inviting us, and Srila Rupa Goswami is inviting us, and Srila Jiva Goswami is inviting us to hear about that beautiful place. That place that when we finally finish with all the turmoils and the duties and responsibilities that we have in this world, we should long to return to that wonderful space. Music. Flute. Thank you. One day, Srimati Radharani, the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, was sitting surrounded by her gopi friends in a mango grove. All the young girls were incredibly beautiful. And as they sat around Radha together, she began to express to them her feelings. She was sharing her appreciation of a mango tree and the beautiful flowering vines encircling the tree. And the young girls immediately understood that she was feeling deep separation from Krishna. Now, just at that very moment, Nandimukhi arrived from Nandagram. Now, who is Nandimukhi? Nandimukhi is the granddaughter of Purnamasi. And Purnamasi is the guru of everybody in Vrindavan. No one will cross the words of Purnamasi. She comes from Ujjain. She is elderly and she wears renounced cloth. She lives alone in a cave. And any time that she can, she makes subtle arrangements for Radha and Krishna's meeting. Nandimukhi brings messages on behalf of Purnamasi. So Nandimukhi also saw Radha's unhappy mood, and she wished to pacify her. Radhe, I've come here to see you on the order of Purnamasi. She asked me to bring some very good news. She told me, Nandi, go very quickly to Radha and give her my blessings. Comfort her and tell her that only she can satisfy all of Madhava's desires perfectly. Then Nandi told them all the exciting news. Oh Radhe, she said, Purnamasi said to me that very, very soon Radha's glories will be revealed in a grand festival undertaken by Krishna and his friends. And this festival will destroy the deepest darkness and all lamentation O Sakhis, your hearts will attain indescribable joy at the festival of Radha's coronation as the queen of all Vrindavan's groves. Hearing this astonishing information, Radha's friends all became delighted. However, in Braj, there is always some intrigue in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and this makes the Leela even more delightful. So there is a group of gopis who seemingly are Radha's rivals, and they try in every possible way to get Krishna's attention. Just like we see that here, there's always something here that has something to do with that divine place. So Padma is the very bold, strong-minded friend of Chandravali, and she has made some plans to have her friend in the rival group crowned as queen instead. She has become so confident of her success that she boldly stole flowers from Radha's garden. And not only that, it seems as if Krishna has also agreed to Padma's proposal. When Radha hears this news, she becomes so upset that nobody can pacify her. Nobody. Not even Krishna himself. And therefore, Purnamasi herself decides to come and visit the girls and assure them that these rumors are untrue. She tells Radha that Krishna wants only you to become the sovereign ruler of Vrindavan. And once this confusion is removed, then preparation for this grand festival is about to begin. As the time for this royal Abhishek draws near, the people of Braj are blissfully engaged in preparations. They all long to see Radha decorated with the auspicious items of the Abhishek, seated on the best of thrones in the best of forests. Everyone was so busy. The craftsmen were painting, the writers were recording this astonishing event, and all the gopis were producing the finest ornaments and decorations for the Abhishek arena. Over the jewel-embedded floor of the Abhishek Mandap, a beautiful canopy arose, shining like the full moon in autumn, and clouds of incense bellowed everywhere as the women placed golden pots on sapphire altars. Then, just to enhance the area further, they hung long garlands of Kadamba flowers, which looked like rows of softly swinging lamps. overcome with joy, seeing the beauty of the upcoming festival, Krishna gave Vrinda Devi an order. He said, "O Vrinda, make all arrangements so that when the elders come, both Radha and I will not be embarrassed, and they will all be happy. Externally, this festival will bear my name, although her name is understood." Vrinda agreed. And meanwhile, elderly Purnamasi, eager to see everyone happy, wandered here and there, watching everyone performing their various services. She said, "All wealth that usually gives rise to anger and sorrow shall be used to support this joyous festival. Perform the Adivas ceremony of Radha for lordship over Vrindavan according to divine instructions." Then, from all directions, the ladies of Braj assembled, and the sky and the earth resounded with the sounds of their ornaments. The auspicious sounds of the gopis' voices spread in every direction. And then it became time for the Adivas to begin. Now, what is the Adivas? The Adivas is a welcoming ceremony that is performed the evening, actually the afternoon, before the royal Abhishek. It's a ceremony where the person is shown various auspicious items, and auspicious mantras are chanting, and all the ladies of Vrindavan are welcoming this wonderful Abhishek event. So Radha was seated on a golden throne, and the Sakhis rubbed her body with their lotus hands and bathed her and dressed her in washed silk. They decorated her limbs with musk and sandalwood, and they carefully braided her hair, and they worshipped her with lamps and the tinkling of their ornaments. While performing these activities, the young girls felt that it would be auspicious if Yasoda and other elderly friends of hers were present for this ceremony. And just at that exact moment, the elderly ladies of Braj arrived. Radha is seated on a jeweled platform, holding kusha grass, a mirror, and other auspicious items, and looking stunningly beautiful. When Yasoda embraced her for a very long time, it was clear that she had already attained lordship of Braja's forests even before the Abhishek began. With the clamor of music and excellent drums, Vrinda then offered garlands to everyone, and the elderly ladies decorated Radha with auspicious herbs. While she sat on the Adivas platform, Radha's beauty spread in all directions. Purnamasi continuously chanted Vedic Shanti mantras, but out of extreme joy, she became also bewildered. And thereafter, according to the local custom, the women, all excited and enlivened by this wonderful festival, began to sprinkle one another with yogurt, ghee, turmeric water, and fragrant substances. Then, placing Radha in the front, according to the rules, the ladies went to worship the Abhishek arena. There was a pathway from Radha's place to the Abhishek Mandap, and Radha, surrounded by her dear friends, walked along the path shown by the elders who were walking in front, headed by Yasoda. The women of Braj sang sweet songs, and in this way the happy gopis proceeded. When Radha arrived at the mandap, she satisfied everyone with very cheerful words. On all four sides of the arena, women and children were staring at her with wide open eyes and great longing. She entered the eastern courtyard, skillfully decorated with beautiful pictures, flower canopies, and full golden pots. Then Purnamasi directed Radha to perform the required worship using various items. And after that was complete, she sent her back home to rest. Thus the Adivas ceremony was completed. But that night, nobody could sleep. When the Brahma Muhurta arrived, everyone in Vrindavan woke up in great excitement. The young girls were preparing for the Abhishek. The mothers of both Radha and Krishna were collecting auspicious items. Purnamasi was chanting mantras to invoke peace and good fortune, and Nanda Baba was distributing immense wealth to everyone. And everybody forgot everything else that they were supposed to be doing, and they talked only about this upcoming festival. Then various instruments began to play, along with singing and dancing. And the peacocks began to sway and shiver and cry in bliss. With the early rays of the morning sun, they could understand that this auspicious moment had finally arrived. Now, Purnamasi, knowledgeable in the Vedas and steady in intelligence, with Yasoda's permission, was eager to bring Radha to the Abhishek Mandap by that same beautiful pathway that she traversed the night before. Then Radha set out. In front of her were the expert musicians, then the ladies all singing joyfully. And then came Purnamasi and the wives of all the brahmanas, and then all the other respectable women who were ever so eager to see this festival. And then came the dancing girls, and the gopis playing veenas and drums and flutes. And finally, many, many beautiful young girls carrying the ingredients for the festival. As Radha walked, the demigod's wives showered flowers that fell to her lotus feet, and they became infused with a crimson glow. And although the pathway was already full of flowers, there were swarms of bees ignoring the flowers and just following the fragrance of her beautiful lotus feet. On that pathway, covered in flowers, lit by rows of bright lamps, Radha came with her friends. As she gracefully walked, she looked at the different pastime places where Krishna had performed pastimes with her. And then her beauty took on an extraordinary appearance that none of the gopis had ever seen before. Meanwhile, the people waiting at the mandap were thinking, when will Radha come? When will she come? And in this way, giving joy to all, Radha's procession slowly arrived at the gate of the mandap. When Radha arrived at the entrance of the Abhishek mandap, Vrindadevi came and welcomed her. When Radha arrived at the entrance of the Abhishek mandap, Vrinda came and welcomed her. And then, using excellent items like incense and fine scents, Vrinda worshipped Radha. And Radha accepted this remarkable grove, constructed as if by divine architects, as her home. Then Vrinda took Radha and her friends on a tour of this wonderful forest flower palace and all the different forest chambers. Each chamber or each room of this beautiful creation made from the desire trees of Vrindavan and entwined with vines and birds chirping and bees humming. Each chamber was different, with different flowers and different scents, and everything about it was divinely beautiful. Vrinda said, "O Chief Sakhi, there is one large chamber here, and 6 high surrounding rooms. On all 4 sides, there are 4 huge doors. Long before, I made this creeper house just for you. And without a doubt, even if that 4-headed Brahma tried for a long time to describe this structure, he would quickly become speechless. These creeper bowers and the network of ascending light rays surpass even a house made of jewels. Has Brahma ever seen the remarkable sweetness of the flowers, the bees, and the cuckoos here? In the middle of this grove is a very famous place where the sun manifests as a royal throne. And after the Abhishek, you will sit on this golden throne. And at that time, Krishna will come to you. Now, let us enter the northern chamber, which is where the Abhishek is about to take place. We, unfortunately, will have to leave Radha here tonight, before tomorrow evening, when she enters that northern chamber to experience this extraordinary Abhishek festival. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
दूर से ना प्रभु एक मिनट सॉरी प्रभु वेट ऋषभ वेट slowly go, not that fast.
तो इसमें वाइड एंगल है क्या पूरा ऐसा? हाँ ले लो।
एक मिनट प्रभु प्रभु जी एक मिनट प्रभु जी एक मिनट ऋषभ साइड
Where do you want to go? Where is your dad?
ऋषभ वेट
Done, Rohit.
चलो हरी बोलो